Hi, it's Brett, and welcome back to part 9 in the series Ultimate Energy Healing. In the first few videos, we've talked about things like getting outside of our ego, our bubble, ourselves, our identity, and raising ourselves and our consciousness into a place where we can connect with and resonate with and tune into the nature of this healing energy. We've also talked about what this healing energy is, what it feels like, how it moves, the energy exchange, how this energy moves, and the fact that it's an unconditional, infinite flow of energy. And today what I want to do is talk about how we can channel this energy down through ourselves and down through the various levels of ourselves. Okay, so an analogy I used for this energy when we spoke about recently was a reservoir. So you could say there's an infinite reservoir of this healing energy, and it wants to pour down on us from above. And it's unconditional. It has no conditions. All we need to do is tune in and resonate with that energy. Okay, and this energy is some kind of electromagnetic energy. It comes to us in the form of warmth and light and energy and electricity and all those kinds of things combined. It's life energy, really. And this energy wants to pour down on us freely, unconditionally. And of course, we spoke about the levels of ourselves. So one of those levels is the mind. And below that, I would put the emotions, and below that, I would put the physical. So we've got the mental, emotional, physical. So these are three major levels of ourselves. And of course, this energy wants to come down through our bodies and give us the healing and the information that is required for healing in our bodies. But what tends to happen is, instead of having this vertical energy exchange, and receiving this energy, what we tend to do is we tend to think we need energy from the world around us. So we start to fill our minds, fill ourselves emotionally, and fill ourselves physically with things from the world around us. And what that does, in a sense, is blocks us up. So we end up in here with more and more processes going on. You could say these processes are whizzing around in our minds. We end up with emotions that are racing around inside us, and we also throw in a lot of food, and particularly chemical, man-made food and processed food. And so what those things tend to do is create blockages in our body. Now remember, we spoke about earlier on that this infinite reservoir of energy has no conditions on giving us this energy. It's just unconditional and flowing and constantly there. So what do you think happens when we start to block it up? Of course, it causes stress, it causes pressure, and that puts weight on us. So, what we often say when we've got the world on our shoulders, when we've got a lot on our mind, people bottle up their emotions, and also, we know when you over-congest food, you end up, bloated and start putting on weight. So this is a result of blocking the flow of healing energy. And of course, you could easily say, well, let's just calm the mind and energy will start to come into the mind, but then it's going to hit the emotional and the physical levels, and it's going to cause emotional and physical stress on the body. So the best thing to do, in fact, is to clear these levels individually. And so what I suggest is the simplest way to get a result and get this energy to flow is through creating peace and calm in the body. So peace is the secret to health. In fact, health is a state of peace and calm. And when there's peace and calm, it's a bit like, when the water's calm, the light can shine straight through the water. But when it's turbulent and there's a lot of things going on, that light can't show through the water. And when you think about it, our body is 60 to 70% water. So it makes perfect sense that when we're in a state of peace, that this light and this energy will come down through us, and it'll be able to be channeled through us. So the simplest way to encourage this channeling to take place is to start from the bottom, because you've got to release this energy in stages. You don't want to let it go all at once. That can be damaging and even more stressful and also toxic. And you can't really force it down from the top because you've got blockages going on down below. So really what we need to do is clear the physical level first. And the easiest way to clear blockages from the physical level is obviously through detoxing, cleansing and fasting. So You've all heard about these things. They've been practiced for millennia in the religions and in spiritual practices, and that's for a very simple reason, that when you cleanse yourself physically, you also take away these arrows here. So you're not actually drawing on energy so much from the world around you, and you're actually starting to draw from that energy above, that healing energy, that spiritual energy and power. And then on the emotional level, of course, what happens when you clear the physical body, and a lot of people experience this when they're detoxing or when they stop congesting toxins and chemicals, as they get withdrawal symptoms, and a lot of those withdrawal symptoms can be emotional. So what tends to happen is you let emotions out, and that's what we need to do. We need to let emotions out instead of bottling them up. So I recommend singing, dancing, laughing, crying, screaming, yelling, and also getting very, very physical. So exercise is a great way of channeling emotional energy down through the physical. So we're starting to do that. And of course it's very grounding. So that physical activity is very grounding. And grounding is a key thing too. Don't forget about grounding. So what we're doing now is we're encouraging this energy to flow on the lower levels first, and that makes this a lot easier. So a lot of people find when they do a detox or a cleanse, or they go fasting, or they just eat lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, because that's very grounding and it's very full of light, is that they find it a lot easier to think and they get mental clarity. And of course, we talked about meditation earlier on, the practice of meditation, stilling the mind, calming the mind. And of course, when you do meditation, you're also detaching yourself from the world around you so much. So instead of pouring things into the mind, you're focusing on connecting with that infinite source of energy above. So we're clearing the mind. This makes sense, doesn't it? Because you've got this energy flowing here for you. You're opening the tap and you're letting energy out. And that encourages energy to come down through the mind easily. So you get a nice continuous flow. And that's what we'd call channeling. You create a channel. If you want to move water that's building up, or a flood area, you create a channel for that water to go. You don't try and push more in. So essentially you start from the bottom and you work your way up by clearing this channel. And once you do that, energy starts to flow and you feel great. So I hope that's been helpful, and that really explains the first part of the process of how we start to move this healing energy in our bodies for healing. Next I'm going to talk about how you can use your mind to do that, and then I'm going to talk about how you can use your actual hands to do it as well. So yeah, hope that's been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.